All right. Not sure if this is working. Test, test. Guess we'll see if the microphone's working. But anywho, Mike here, and today I want to do a quick via live because I'm kind of in a hurry. If I do it live, I don't have to edit this, and it'll just go straight. But I want to do a quick update on the Microsoft Surface Duo. I'm currently recording with my Microsoft Surface Go front camera on that. To me, it looks pretty good actually. I got my microphone plugged in. Hopefully, it is working. Um, can't necessarily see anybody chatting. There we go. Hey, Fly Guy, can you tell me if the audio is working real quick? And there's obviously going to be a delay. So as soon as I get something saying the audio is working, we'll jump into this. But sweet, awesome. All right, so as you guys can see, this is the Surface Duo. I've had it now for 24 hours. And I will say that there is definitely a learning curve with this. So the first day, really, yesterday I got it. I spent probably 3 hours straight just getting used to the UI, setting it up the way I want it, and I've been using it all day. Put my SIM card in here, and once you get through the learning curve, it's great. As you can see, I ditched the gestures and I just set up the 3 button layout, which I think is way better. And is what I did when I first fired this on. I did the initial out of the box update, and then I installed all my stuff, and then I restarted it again, and I've had way less bugs. I mean, there's still a few that'll pop up occasionally, and usually I'll just close it, open it, and then my daughter's actually watching this too. Hello, Mia. And then it works just fine. So, but like I said, I've been using this for a day. Don't have any real complaints, to be honest with you. It's been fairly solid. I've been using my Samsung Gear S3 Frontier watch. So I use Samsung Pay to get over not having NFC. So, like I said, the big complaints: no wireless charging, no NFC, no outer display. So I just use my Samsung Gear S3 Frontier smartwatch, and no issues whatsoever. So to be honest with you, that's got rid of all that stuff, with the exception of the wireless charging, which I kind of miss, but I honestly don't mind. But one pleasant surprise has been the battery life. The battery life on this has been fantastic. So right now I'm at 37%. You probably can't see that, but I turned this on at about 7:30 a.m. this morning, and been using it really heavily because I've just been playing with it using the dual screens. And to answer your question, Fly Guy, about the gestures, just go to your settings. You kind of got to search for it, but if you just use the search bar for settings, then you can get rid of it. I'll have to dig for it. And there goes my dogs. Yeah. So if you go under system, settings, system, it says gestures, and in there you can go turn off the gestures and go to the actual 3 button layout. But like I said, so far, first 24 hours has been good. A bit of a learning curve. I will say the first hour, 30 minutes was kind of frustrating trying to navigate this device. But once you get it, you kind of understand what it's for. It's pretty awesome, actually. So the most common thing I do, obviously, with the dual screens is YouTube. So my favorite posture, as they call it, is like this. So I have YouTube on the top screen. Then I'll have Reddit, whatever I want, on the bottom screen, and just watching the video, scrolling. And then the other favorite one I like is the email when you span that. But not be confused though. A lot of people try and compare this to the Z Fold or Galaxy Fold 2, and this is not meant to be that. So this is meant, it's called the Duo, so two. So it's meant to use 2 screens, 2 apps simultaneously. It's not meant to have one app spanned, because obviously if you do that, you've got this giant gap in the middle, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah. So yeah, don't confuse this for trying to replace like the Z Fold and Z Flip. The other thing I like about this is I like using it just with one. And to me, it feels kind of like an old school BlackBerry because it's got that wide posture. And I've already customized my keyboard as well. So as you can see, I've got, you know, red keyboard. And to me, this kind of feels like a BlackBerry. And there were a lot of complaints on this thing about lag when you're typing. I've had zero of that. So typing is great on this, zero lag. And this has overall been a snappy device. So even though it's got a Snapdragon 855, I've had no issues with it. I mean, I've got an S10e that's got the same processor, and I can plug it into a monitor and run Dex and run, you know, 2, 3 apps at a time without an issue. So the issue I think with this is they should have included more RAM. So this got 6 gigs of RAM. Excuse me. I really think it could have used 8 gigs, and that would have made this. It would have eliminated some of the bugs that I've had as far as the few slowdowns, you know, and when you're going in and out of a different posture, sometimes it'll take an extra second to orient itself. See, there you go. It's kind of slow. So maybe more RAM will fix that. I don't know, or it could just be software optimization. But so I'm looking at a couple questions here. Yeah, Fly Guy, as far as the red keyboard, basically, once you open anything that brings up the keyboard, there's a little settings cog, and then from there you can tweak it, download a different keyboard. So that's how you customize it. But like I said, the first day I had this, which was last night, I spent probably 3 hours straight digging through this. Literally went through every setting. But so far, I'm actually really digging this device. Like I said, it takes, you know, a couple hours to kind of really get used to it because there is, like I said, a learning curve with this. But once you get through that and you kind of realize what it's for, what it can do, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the form factor, the build, I just love it. I mean, it fits my pocket, no issues. And I kind of like this kind of the wide display. I mean, this is shorter than a traditional phone, but I like how the screens are wider. It just gives you more content. I'm just looking for questions here in the comments. Yes, and as far as the trade-in on this, Michael Barron's asking, for me, I traded in. Well, I haven't mailed it yet, but I'll get $400 back for an S10e. So if you go to the Microsoft website, essentially there's a little link, and you put in what device you're trading in, and it'll tell you the trade-in value. So in my case, you know, I've got an S10e that I've had for probably 3 months now. I bought it on Amazon renewed for $350, and I'm trading it to Microsoft for $400. So that's a win. So really, I'm getting this for about $1,000, but I still haven't made up my mind yet if I'm going to keep it. Like I said, I still want to spend some more time with it because I will say a lot of the gripes that reviewers had, I think, were misguided. The only gripe that I have, and the only thing that I concur with the reviewers on, is the camera. So that is literally the one thing holding me back about wanting to not return this is the camera. So back to Microsoft, if you buy this through the Microsoft website, you've actually got a 60-day return policy. So you've got, you know, 2 months to play with this thing, as long as you keep obviously your packaging and you don't break it. But so that's plenty of time to decide, hey, I want this, I can use this. But really, the only negative I have is the camera. So I've been using it today, and in bright lighting, it takes okay pictures. And when I do my review, probably next week, I'm going to show you all the pictures that I've taken with this thing. But the pictures are mediocre. I mean, really, I would say it'd be like having a 2015 camera. But the jury's still out if I want to keep this or not. So again, the one thing that's holding me back is the camera. If this thing had a better camera, then I would say no brainer. I love this. I'm digging it. I'm getting used to using it. I love the different postures. When I watch a YouTube video, you know, I like doing the tent mode where I'll set it up like this. So the possibilities are kind of up to your imagination. But and I do like how I can set app pairs. So when I wake up, I hit my app pair that brings up my email and my YouTube studio, so I can look at my analytics. And for that kind of stuff, this thing is perfect. I mean, that's what it was made for. But um, so far, like I said, the longer I use this, the more I like it. So, and that's one thing a lot of reviewers have said. First, there was some frustration, and then the more they used it, they kind of got it. They're like, "Oh, I like this." So, again, camera is really my only gripe, and then the price. I still think $1,400 for this, because of the excluded features and the subpar camera is still a bit steep. But if you get a trade in through Microsoft, put it on your phone, you can actually save up to $400 or more. So let's see. Yes, and again, Michael's asking about software updates. Um, Honestly, with the camera, software is only going to do so much because of it's only an 11 megapixel camera. So you can put best software in the world, and it's only going to do so much. So I think really Gen 2, obviously, I think they'll rectify that. But camera, you can only do so much with the software. Obviously, you look at Google Gcam. I mean, you could probably install a Gcam on here and maybe get a little bit better camera, but the limitation, honestly, is the hardware on the camera, not so much the software. Um, what else? And I don't think Microsoft includes Office 365 on this if you get it for a year free. At least I haven't seen it. When I set it up, I wasn't prompted to do that. I mean, I'm already a subscriber. Like mine doesn't expire until next year. So maybe that's why I didn't see a prompt. But that I don't know. I haven't seen any promotions with Microsoft throwing in Office 365 on this, but it's possible. But you would honestly have to go to the Microsoft store and check. So, any other questions on this day one experience? Like I said, I've been pleasantly surprised. And honestly, the biggest surprise of this has been the battery life because I've been on this thing pretty dang religiously today, just learning it, still in the product honeymoon phase and just making myself use it as much as possible. And it is, almost 8:30 p.m. my time, and I am at 36%. So to me, I think that's pretty dang respectable, pretty good. Um, and as I've been using this, I've been making notes on what bugs that I've encountered so far. So I'll definitely share that during my full review as well. But for the most part, it's been a fairly stable experience as far as the OS goes. Um, let's see. Any other questions on this thing? While I got it open here, anyway. One thing I will say that I'm doing this live stream on a Surface Go 2, and I'm pretty dang impressed with the camera quality. Like I said, I'm just using the front-facing webcam on it, and it looks pretty good. So there's a plug for the Surface Go 2, I guess. I did a review on that actually last week, I think. So you can go check that out. Highly recommend it. And along those lines, I forgot to mention one thing that actually makes this even cooler is the Your Phone app. So if you do have a Windows PC, you can use Your Phone, which I plan on showing my review, which is something I haven't seen any reviews really mention. And the next update of Your Phone should actually bring the apps feature. So right now you can mirror this on your PC wirelessly. You can even have it closed and do all the stuff on your Duo. But once they push the apps update, you can actually even do the apps. It looked pretty cool. They showed a demo, Microsoft did. So the Your Phone app actually works really well with this. So if you've got a Windows PC, definitely something to check out if you have this. Let's see. Yep. Other reviewers were, yeah, I don't know what other reviewers would, why they complain about battery life. It's been pretty good for what it is. I mean, it's powering two screens. So even if you end the day with 10%, I mean, you're powering two screens. So that's pretty freaking good. So in my opinion, if it'll make it from time I wake up to time I go to bed without dying, I'm happy. So even if it's 5%, 10%, running two screens, to me, that's definitely good enough. So Any other questions on this thing? Mm, yeah, Dexter's asking about actually, because the thing about this device, again, it's for multitasking, but I don't always want to do two things at once. So I'm not always going to be having two apps open. So for one, to save battery and just to get that traditional phone feel, I do this quite often where I'll just have it in this mode. And, I don't want to be productive all the time. I don't want to have two things open. I just want to, scroll my Twitter feed or watch a video on one screen, and it works fantastic for that. So, um, no issue leaving it like this. So, I mean, it just gives you that traditional phone form factor. So, when I want the two screens, it's there. When I want to do two things at once, it's there. And to be honest, I mean, I don't work in an office environment, so I'm not using a lot of the 365 stuff that much. So, when I have two things, it's usually I've got a YouTube video on one screen and I'm doing something else on the other, with the exception of a few app pairs that I created to just quickly check, my email, my YouTube analytics, things of that nature. And as far as, let's see, yeah, and it fits in my pocket just fine. I mean, I wear normal dude pants. I'm not a skinny jean type person. I actually wear men's jeans. So it fits in my pockets just fine, whether it be front pocket, back pocket, and the speaker. That's been a lot of negatives as well. Uh, it's not the best, but whatever. 9 times out of 10, you see someone watching or listening to something on their phone or mobile device. They've got earbuds or headphones in. But to me, the speakers aren't, amazing, but they get the job done. They're only on one side though, so I wish they were on both screens, which would kind of help. Let's see if I can bring up something to play on it real quick, um, just to kind of give you a quick thing on the speaker. So let's play something real quick. YouTube? Mike here with another video, and today I want to do an unboxing of the Microsoft Surface Duo. So that's all the way up. I've been waiting for this product for over a year since it was first announced last year, and finally here. So there you go. I mean, to me, the speakers are fine. People complain about it, but I don't think it's a big deal. Call quality, again, is fine. I haven't had any issues. Tried that out. Texting and everything is fine. So honestly, no complaints. The two complaints I have, again, is the price, and I wish it had more RAM. And I totally lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I'm definitely digging the device. No issues whatsoever. Oh, camera is a big one. That's the one I left out. So yeah, the price and the camera are what kind of makes me second guess if I want to keep this or not. But again, I'm going to keep playing with it and see if I can get past the camera thing. So in my opinion, what's the best camera? That's the one that you have on you at the time. So obviously most people have their phones on them all the time. I'm not going to carry two phones. So if this is going to be my phone, it's going to be my phone. So if I'm out, I want to take a picture of something, I'd rather have that better camera. So that's, again, the one thing holding me back. But anyways, let's see. That is about it. Like I said, that's just first day impressions. So far, really positive. I haven't experienced any of the bugs. Like I said, if you go watch CNET's review of this, I mean, Scott Stein just slammed it. I mean, it was a pretty brutal review, and I definitely disagree with him on 95% of what he said, but that's just me. Anyway, with that, if there are no final questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and go about my night, and hopefully all you guys have a nice, safe weekend. I appreciate all y'all that jumped on here. And if you happen to watch this after the fact, again, welcome. So hopefully I answered your guys' questions that you had. And if you have more, again, drop it in the comments, and I'm always reading that. You can also get me on Twitter at TechnoGI, one word, and I can try to answer stuff on there. And I did watch the Windows Central one. I'm a big fan of those guys. So Dan, he was actually pretty positive on it. So anyways, I'm going to sign off and thanks for watching.